A film, in many ways, is the medium in which filmmakers construct a certain reality. For years, film has become a tool to make impactful messages. As much as we talk about film, we never really understand the true meaning behind it other than the filmmakers itself. Every person in a theater perceives information differently. But with all being said, a good film should make the audience as an active explorer to decode the messages. As a cinematic craft, film represents human mind that is both nonlinear and complex, derived through audiovisual. For filmmakers, the goal is always been making a craft that is believable. This is where the character comes into play. There are two types of character. The first one is protagonist, and the second one is antagonist. Protagonist can be defined as the leading character which motivates the whole story and moves alongside with the film plot. Meanwhile, antagonist is the main character opponent. Except, in some cases, it's not that simple. Take example Aspiration, a movie about the dissolution of a marriage directed and written by Asghar Farhadi, where he blurs the boundaries between each character, taking humanity at its utmost level. What's more important is that Farhadi managed to make each character believable through justification. This brings me to the next point where each character has a reasonable ground that blurs the viewer's judgment. I think Farhadi tries to capture reality for what it is, not what it should be. English philosopher Thomas Hobbes said that most of our actions are driven by selfish desires. He explained that even selfless actions such as donating to charity still has selfish causes like feeling power over other people, which later on he called psychological egoism. This reading put human as a motivationally driven creature moving in a non-linear process. The way we look at our world are highly influenced by culture. One's culture might or might not be familiar with another culture. So what exactly does Farhadi want the audience to see? Perhaps he wants us to be conscious about our judgment, realizing that in many ways our limited perspective enact things to be more contrast, as of right or wrong, whereas in reality, things are not as simple as black and white. For me, this film is a masterpiece, especially in terms of characterization. In a world where a lot of filmmakers fall into the notion of putting morality into the character, Farhadi stands out with his craft. He knows that once you put a certain standard of morality, a sense of humanity is being taken away. As a Scottish philosopher David Hume said, that moral assessment involves our emotions and not our reason. He explained that as much as we think about the reason, it will not constitute a moral assessment. The point being that film is a form of liberation. It is a craft that speaks about reality without having to be real.